saying, oh, the sound wasn't on this whole time. I'm sorry. I apologize about that.
Oh,
well,
no.
Merry Christmas.
It happens. Welcome.
Thanks,
Welcome.
Dad.
Oh my
Dad's
gosh.
out there in the laptop
Oh
watching,
my
and he's like,
gosh.
sound check. Well, as you were probably maybe lip reading, It's Christmas here, blah, blah, blah.
We're going to be getting almost 16 inches of snow. First time all year. All winter. Anyway, what else did we say? Oh yeah, Rescued for Food Addiction, new devotional. You can get your copy at kellyallnovels.com. And we'll read one devotion and then take a break and do a cool show and tell and then be back. We'll see how much time we have. Maybe we'll read another one.
Nice.
Yay! All right, we are on chapter or week 3 and it's called Never Enough.
Oh.
And it says, gratitude. It turns what we have into enough. How many times in life do we think things like, I'm not enough, I don't make enough money, I don't have enough friends, I'm not happy enough, there's not enough love in this relationship, I have gotten a wonderful vacation, but it wasn't enough, I'm not eating enough lettuce. No amount of sugar seems to be enough to satisfy my cravings. I'm not thin enough or pretty enough. Not enough, not enough, not enough.
Oh my gosh.
We've probably done that this morning. We get up, we go look in the mirror, and we're like, ugh.
Pick out your clothes, and fix your hair.
Yeah, and that's what it boils down to. Not enough, not this, not that. There seems to be a constant striving, seeking, reaching for that enough feeling in life. And it taints any happiness and joy that comes our way. God might bless us with something wonderful, but then all of a sudden a negative thought comes that no matter how amazing it wasn't enough.
Mm-hmm. Girl.
Wow.
What was that verse that you read this morning? It was the Passion Translation footnotes. Was it of John 3:16? No, it was... it might have been one of Jeremiah.
It was John 3:16 and 17.
Where it said that then you will come to know that if God is all you have, that is enough.
Whoa.
That God is enough.
God is enough.
That God is enough.
And we can even do that in everything of our life.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't have this job. I don't make this much money. I don't have this big of a house. My kitchen isn't Instagram perfect. Mm-hmm. It's just not enough.
Yeah.
Do you have God? He is enough.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he makes it enough.
Yeah.
Even what you do have. That's like what Paul said. I know how to have a lot and I know how to have a little. But in all these things, I'm content. Content doesn't mean satisfied. That doesn't mean that you're living under a bridge and you should just be happy about that. It means undisturbed and unmoved.
Wow.
So you're not disturbed. If you have little, you're not disturbed when you have much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to think my oldest sister, she was 11 years older than me. And I used to think, in her bedroom, they had this wallpaper behind the bed. And it was like these big bamboo reeds.
Oh.
And it was gold and brown. And when they bought their house, they were in that house for, 30 years or 40 years. It was a really long time. She never changed. That it was the same.
Oh my
all
gosh.
those years. And her dining room was the same. The carpet was the same. It was really something. They didn't have any children. They didn't have any pets. But I used to think, wow, that's just kind of crazy. But now at my age, I'm like, that's kind of cool.
Wow.
That's
It was
cool.
enough for her.
Enough.
Yeah, it probably went out. Then it came back in.
Yeah. That's how it is. That's how it is.
Yeah.
And so many times when we look at other people, we then become discontented with what we have.
Yeah.
Where if you would know that other people had different designs, had different ideas, changed their style once a week, if you like it,
Yeah.
just stick with it.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Right.
But yet we try to be like all these standards and it changes all the time.
Yeah.
Yes,
All
yeah.
the time.
You know how you can get discontented is when you're constantly looking at things on here to buy.
It's so
It's kind of
true.
like when we used to get the catalogs.
Yes.
Remember we had those big
The
Sears.
JCPenney catalog.
Yes. And you were
Yes.
just constantly looking, oh, what's the decorating now? And what's the hairdo? And what's the...
And it's so funny because they have even videos of people that post, let's normalize normal houses. And they just show a normal house, not this high, fancy,
I
new
like those.
design. Yeah. And it's true.
Yeah.
All of that stuff out there, that's their life. That's what they're doing. But that doesn't mean that we all have to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm wondering if you should share this video to the event, just in case.
Oh.
Yeah. So never enough steals that joy. Where did this come from anyway? It actually started in the very beginning. And guess who brought the never enough thought into the world?
Oh boy.
The devil.
Yep.
In fact, he started this never enough cycle even before the world was created. Here, Satan was a beautiful angel in charge of the music. Life was good. But all of a sudden, it wasn't good enough anymore. He wanted to be higher than God, and nothing less was enough. So after being kicked out of heaven and taking 1/3 of the angels with him, he entered the world. Have you ever noticed it isn't enough for one person to feel this way? They always have to pull someone else down with them. Anyway, Satan then approached Adam and Eve. Here they lived in a paradise and walked with God in the cool of the day. They were happy. Yet when Satan talked to them, he got them thinking that all they had wasn't enough. There was one tree they weren't supposed to eat from. It wasn't enough. And that wasn't all. He told them God was holding out on them. He wasn't giving them enough. Well, you know the rest of the story. Never enough tainted everything, and the whole world has now experienced it. Never enough is the very root of food addiction and cravings. Back then, we were never satisfied with the food we ate. It was never enough. As soon as I ate the last bite, I wanted more. The longing and food chatter was endless. So how did we fix this? How did we find enough in our lives? Gratitude. Instead of thinking, I don't have enough friends, I don't have enough fun, start thinking about all the things we do have, the friends we do have. Otherwise, you will always miss out and not see the fun and blessings right in front of your nose. Gratitude makes us stop and take a look around. We have so much to be thankful for, but we have to look for them. We have to look for the good things in everything. No matter what you're dealing with right now, stop and think a minute. What are you dealing with right now?
Is it cravings? Is it temptation? Did you have dinner already? Are you having a hard day because it's the weekend? Are the holidays coming up? Are you dealing with that?
Yeah. In all of that, you have much to be thankful for. Do you know what people would give to have the problems you have? Wow. You are enough. How do I know this? Because God said you were. It's because of what Jesus did. He died for you. And because he died for you, he made you enough. Jesus is enough for me. And because he's enough for me, I am enough. Everybody see that? I am enough.
I am enough.
Because of Jesus.
Because of Jesus.
On our own, we are never enough.
And what gratitude does is it makes what you have enough.
Yep.
When Jesus was feeding the 5,000, he said, what do you have? He didn't just make it out of nothing. He said, what do you have? And he makes it enough. He made it enough to feed 5,000 people. And the most amazing thing is we think, oh, he did that once in the Bible. No, he did it twice. There were 2 different times, 2 different groups of people that he fed 5,000 people with what they had. He takes what you have and he makes it enough.
Yeah.
So when we give him what we have, he'll make it last.
Yeah.
So if we think, oh, well, I'm going to be too hungry or I'm going to be too starving or I can't do this, he'll make it enough if you trust him.
Yep.
I was thinking about when we talked about looking at the catalogs and stuff. We don't have regular TV anymore, so we don't have the commercials. Although some of the stuff on the smart TV, like that Tubi, they have commercials. But marketing has gotten pretty clever. At night, what do they show? Food.
Yep.
They show food. And if you're constantly looking at the food that you do not want to eat, it gets to be, you get discontented.
It's true. Yeah.
When you go through the checkout line and they've got all the candy bars and all the treats and everything at children's level.
Yep. Exactly.
Easy to grab, easy to see. It's just right there.
When we go to Walmart, when we're going out the food door, they have that whole wall is donuts, muffins. And,
It's a plan. It's a strategy.
yeah.
Oh, so, because I just keep up on marketing things. So they said one of the most powerful marketing things isn't you'll gain all this. No, they show you, look what you're missing out on. Look what you don't have. Psychologically, that's a stronger pull than, oh, that would be nice to have.
And that's exactly
Yikes.
what the devil did with Eve.
Yeah.
Look what you don't have. Look what God's holding out on you.
We never had the capacity to have the knowledge, to have the capacity to have the knowledge of good and evil. We were only supposed to know good. Mm-hmm. We were only supposed to know that. That part, that was God's part. He would take care of it. But if Eve would have really believed that God was truly good, truly for them, would have taken care of all of that, she wouldn't have been tempted by that.
I just thought of something. Do you think that today that we have the capacity for good and evil? Do you think that we're supposed to be looking at the evil? So look at today. You can have everything right at your eyes. Human trafficking. You can have any terrible thing. I mean, every movie, children are watching these things. Just, it's at your fingertips. You can just hear the most despicable things you can't even fathom.
They have... They do. All I know is it's bad, and I
The
don't want to
Bible
know.
says you shouldn't even talk about those evil things.
No, we don't have the ability. We're not supposed to process that. That's like little kids. They're not supposed to process that. We're kids. We're God's kids. We're not supposed to process that.
Yeah.
And social media now and all of that, the news, it really started with the news and then newspapers and the news. We weren't supposed to be able to know all that. And now we have too much information that we can get to.
It's so much. And think about like Adam and Eve. They were walking with God in the cool of the day. They were in his presence. I mean, that was something.
Wow.
They were in this amazing garden. They were just filled with just the goodness and love of God. And just, I mean, that's just amazing in itself. And they weren't supposed to know good and evil.
Yeah.
Wow.
How come we think we can?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the day I wrote this one because I don't remember what I was doing. I think I was on my way to Bible study or kids church or something. Anyway, so these thoughts were coming. You know, you get in mundane life, you're just going and you're just kind of like, okay, we're going to be doing this again and we'll be doing this again next week. And you just get these weird thoughts of, you know, discontent or I'm missing out or what else could I be doing right now or whatever stupid lie. And as I was doing that, I'd stopped at a grocery store. My brother went in to get something, I think water. And as I was there, I was scrolling through Facebook quick and somebody had put on gratitude. It makes, what's the saying? It turns what we have into enough. And I thought, wow, this is exactly what I needed to hear. And so then I just sat back and I just thought about all the things that we get to do that is so fun. And it totally changed my perspective. And it totally killed those lies.
Yeah.
And so that's what it will do when you're in a state of, oh man, whatever bummer is happening or not enough. Remember that. Yeah. Look back and wow, we're so blessed. Here's 2 scriptures in the Good News translation, Psalms 23:1. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. I have all that I need. And then Psalm 16:5. You, Lord, are all I have, and you give me all I need. My future is in your hands. And that's all that matters when you really come down to it. God, what do you want me to do? Yeah. And we were watching this show. It's called Do You Believe? It's such a powerful Christian show. And this couple, their daughter had gotten hit by a drunk driver and died. And he was cleaning out the bedroom that they had for her. And the wife came in and she was all mad. And she said, what are you doing? Why are you cleaning this out? He goes, you know, we've turned our grief into our most prized possession. Oh, wow. And we're treating this room like a museum. She's in heaven. We're going to see her again. And he was trying to get out of this cycle. And so I immediately thought, how many of us know people, and maybe we're one of them, we get free from food addiction, but yet we keep that food addiction as our most prized possession. Yeah. Yeah. And we have to, we're always struggling. We never come to freedom. Instead, our freedom in Jesus should be our most prized possession. Yeah. And it's good to stir things up. It's good to read over things, but don't make that your focus.
Or the struggle. a lot of people, they'll struggle.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, yeah, it's just a struggle. I just can't do it.
Yeah. And it's like they don't want to get free because then they don't know who they are.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
and gratitude will break that.
Yeah. That's what I really like, that book that you wrote, Natalie, about doing all the meals in one.
Oh, batch cooking?
Yes, because we should not be thinking all the time about, what am I going to have tomorrow? This is fantastic. And you're just in the kitchen the whole time, and you're going through all these recipes. You're just thinking, what can be just the best thing that I could have, because I only get these 3 meals. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and that's
way.
like, I knew
Yeah.
the snow was coming in. My brother has a snow removal business, and I help him with it.
yeah.
So I knew there were going to be a couple crazy days. So it was like Thursday or Friday. I'm like, I'm just going to batch cook 4 meals of breakfast and lunch. So I've
Yeah.
been having the same thing every day, and I've just been happy.
Yeah.
It's easy. I'm like, oh, good. Psh, it's done. It's delicious. It's there. It's ready. I grab, I eat, and then I move on with life.
I know.
My very first video, before I even told you guys about this, I was sitting in my bedroom, and it was the willpower one. And that was the key for me. But you know what? When you're constantly thinking about, what am I going to have? What could I have that's just going to be, because I feel like I'm missing out on everything. And so what can I have that will make me feel like I'm eating the same as all those that are having, having the sugar and stuff. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I like to do now where you're bringing out all the ingredients anyway. You might as well make 4
That's
or 6,
good.
and then just put them in the fridge. What we did was, so I made this one of Natalie's
That's
recipes.
kind of fun.
And I said, hey, do you want to split? Because she already made her breakfast. So what we did was, I made 6 muffins. They were her apple spice muffins. So good. And then you had made this other one. We haven't shared that recipe yet. We're going to have to share that recipe.
The mystery
Yes.
recipe.
We'll share that when we're done.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so I gave her 3 of the muffins, and she gave me half of her bake. And it was so fun doing
That was pretty fun.
Yeah. So make a few different kinds, stick them all in the freezer, and then just take them out. Hey, half them if you want.
Yeah.
Maybe don't even write on top. Just write breakfast. So then it'll be a surprise. What is this today? I don't know.
That's awesome.
As you were talking about that, I had read this thing, and it just like shocked my brain, and you could have this for anything. So there was this girl, and it was during a snowstorm, because I was looking outside, and she was content and cozy in her house. It was lovely. And she hears a knock at the door. So she goes to the door, and this guy comes, and he says, I have a house a couple 100 yards away, and it's better. And he says, not in any specified thing how better it is, but he said, you can live in that for free. So he said, come. She was like, what? I like my house. I'm cozy. It's warm. But then she was thinking about, I don't really like these things in my house. She started to become discontent. So she said, okay. So they start walking out in this blizzard, and they're walking and walking. They're in the middle of a random field. It's cold. It's dark. They're walking. She said, I thought you said this was a couple 100 yards away. He said, oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't tell you. It's a couple 1,000 miles away.
Oh,
And he said, you're never going to get there. And then he left her. So now she's stuck. She's lost. She can't even go back to her own home. She's never going to get there, but she's getting closer, but she's never going to get there. But now she was discontent with what she had. And that's what the diet industry can do to you. That's what you can do to yourself. That's what the devil does, is he calls you out saying, this is better. So now you hate what you have to try to get something you're never going to get.
Right.
Because it's never attainable. Anything the devil brings out to show you that you can have this, you never get it.
no.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the horse with the carrot on the end of the stick, on the
You're
end of
never
the,
gonna reach it.
Yeah.
the carrot on
It's
the
like
end
the
of the
hamster
stick.
in the wheel.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. No, no, you're not. No,
Wow.
it's not attainable. Ugh.
That's amazing.
Are we ready for show and tell?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
If I put this here, is that in the way? No.
So fun.
Okay, so I thought, what shall I show everybody today? So we're going to go on a grain day. I'm going to show you all my favorite grains. So we
Ooh, I
will start
like
out
it.
with just the classic. We go to a local health food store, and this is just classic rolled oats. You can get this in gluten-free also. So if you are gluten-free, you can still have oats. And it's just regular rolled oats. These are good for everything. Baking, oatmeal. You can even have them raw, put them on top of things. You can toast them. Oatmeal, somebody does so many cool things. Then, if you don't have like a local health food store or you can't find organic rolled oats at a good price, these are quick cooking oats. They work the same for baking. It's going to be a little bit softer. Put them up there? It's the Bob's Red Mill Organic. Try to get organic because oats and wheat are sprayed with so high pesticides and we don't want you to die. So this is quick rolled. This works also. If you make this, don't die.
I hate that. That's the word.
We're trying to live better here, you know. Quick rolled oats are going to be a little bit softer in texture. Oh. So if you make it as an oatmeal, it's not going to be as hearty and sticky as regular rolled oats because they're more broken down and they're thinner. But they work for baking.
Do you know how much a bag of that is?
Okay, so when I buy this on Amazon, I get like 4 bags and they are 2 pounds each for like $19.
Oh,
and
nice.
the quick rolled are a little bit cheaper than the regular rolled oats, the quick cooking ones. So, I mean, I use them for Timmy for baking and they're great.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's the oatmeal. Ooh, okay. Then there's different kinds of oatmeal. So there's regular rolled oats. That's like generic for everything. Then we have one that's in between. That's Scottish oats.
Oh,
they're a little
have you tried
bit.
that, Kelly?
No.
Oh, me
They're
neither.
very fun. You have to cook them a little bit longer than oatmeal.
And wearing a kilt.
Yes, and you have to go. And you make this with haggis. No,
And you
just
have to
kidding.
hop.
Yeah, you got to hop and wear a kilt and Scottish around. Now this
That
is
was pretty good, Natalie.
Thank you. It's in between like a steel cut oat and a regular rolled oat.
Steel
So
cut
it's a
oat.
little
Okay.
bit heartier.
So do you get as much, do you think, or is it less? Oh.
It might look a little bit less, but these are going to stick to your stomach a little bit longer. So these will keep you full a little bit longer.
So is it a thicker oatmeal then?
Yes, just a little bit.
Okay.
And it's more of a grainier texture. Have you ever had steel cut oats?
Oh, yeah.
This is like in between those.
Oh, but not quite wheat
Nice.
germ.
No, not wheat germ. Wheat germ is like, wheat germ is very soft. That would not make a good oatmeal.
No.
Ugh.
Yeah.
No.
So
That'd be
then-
mushy.
Mushy, yeah.
Then we were talking about steel cut oats. So steel cut oats, these are going to take the longest to cook, but then they're also going to take the longest to digest and break down, so you stay fuller longer.
Oh.
That's what they say with that. These are okay for baking. I would probably cook them first and then work with cooked steel
that's
cut
a good
oats.
idea.
Otherwise, you're going to be like, yeah, I'm trying to chew through my food. These would not be good. You could maybe toast these. I don't know.
Ooh.
So that's the oats. Then we move on. There's so many other grains. So people think we're missing out. We're not.
We're not.
I didn't even grab. I have in the freezer. Maybe I don't have in the freezer. Ezekiel bread.
Ooh.
Ezekiel bread is not made with flour, and that is compliant. And also the Ezekiel English muffins. You get like half a muffin though. So
Yeah. With the Ezekiel bread, you get like one slice.
one slice. There's also
But-
Ezekiel tortillas. I mean, hey, you're feeling a slice of bread in the morning? Have a slice of bread.
If you want to put egg on it or whatever.
It's
Yeah,
good.
it
I've
is
made
good.
PB&J. I have in some of my cookbooks recipes making like a sandwich. Who says you can't have a sandwich for breakfast? You know, some days you just need a sandwich.
I guess you can.
Yeah, a sandwich.
Yeah. This is one of Kelly's favorite. This is wheat germ. I also get this on Amazon. Now, wheat germ and wheat bran are different. I don't have any right now. I ran out, so I'm just using the wheat germ. But coarse wheat bran, it's going to be a little bit of a grainier texture than the wheat germ.
Yeah.
But I like it. I like the wheat bran. It's nice for baking. I bake with it a lot instead of like flour. Wheat germ is also good for baking. Kelly likes to make her cookie dough things with wheat germ.
I have to talk about Natalie's
Talk
upside
about
down latte cake.
Yes.
I think you have the recipe. I'll share it.
It's
Why
either
not?
in volume 15 or 16.
Anywho,
I think it's 16.
you make it with this. Okay, it's kind of fun to have a compliant alternative to food that we know. That's how I think of things. Like, what does this taste like? Oh, it tastes like brownies. Okay, cool. This upside down latte cake, I know it has a different name. We called it Better Than Everything Cake. This, Natalie's upside down latte cake, is the alternative, compliant alternative to Better Than Everything Cake. It is so delicious, moist.
It's like moist, dense,
Mwah.
fudgy. And then you got the fruit, and
I've
then
been
you
on
got
a
the
kick.
fluff on top. Yes.
It does have flaxseed in it, so, you know, it'll keep you
We
regular.
call flaxseed X-Flax. But when you're this
it's
far
fine.
into eating not sugar and flour, you're probably going to be just fine.
So I don't know, this will give my age away, but back in the 70s, wheat germ was a huge fad.
Really?
Yeah. It was supposed to be like so healthy. And if you did wheat germ, you were just,
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Who
funny.
knew?
Yeah, who knew?
When I looked up what wheat germ is, so wheat germ is the germ of the wheat, and wheat bran is the hull on the outside, and then the oats is like the wheat kernel.
Huh, that's
Okay.
neat.
Yeah. So it's just
Deb
a-
Babcock said Ezekiel muffins are so much softer.
They are
Oh,
very
that's
soft.
kind of fun.
They're very soft. Oh, and she's never baked with steel cut oats. They're fun if you cook them first. I have a couple recipes
Okay.
in my book where you cook the oatmeal, then you get 4 ounces of cooked oatmeal as a grain serving. So if you're going to bake with that, it can, depending on how you cook your oatmeal, you don't want to make it really runny because then your bake's going to be a little runny. But it does work. It works great. All right, on to our next. Let's do another
So fun.
wheat.
Yeah.
These are hard red spring wheat berries. They're wheat berries. They kind of remind me of rice. I'll show you what they look like. Let's see. I'm up here. Can you see them? These
We're
are
on such a
little
delay that I don't
wheat berries. Aren't they cute? It kind of reminds me of rice when you cook them, except they're chewier. They're fun. They're really fun. You
Do
have
they
to
get
cook them.
kind of big?
Yeah. Like a
They expand?
thick rice.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But how rices can be like soft and just, these are like chewy. And they're good for baking too if you cook them
Ooh.
first.
Deb says, remember Yule Gibbons? She asked you that.
Yule Gibbons. Wow, that sounds so familiar.
Wow. So wheat berries, you have to cook them pretty long. Rinse them. And then you're supposed to rinse rice too. And then you bring water to a boil. Then you simmer for 60 minutes. So I like to cook these like the night before. I'll batch cook them.
Deb says she makes a wheat berry salad.
Ooh, yeah, that would be
That
so good.
sounds. So, would you cook them then?
Oh yeah. You have to cook it.
Okay.
Otherwise, they break your teeth.
Oh,
Is that complaining? Then
she said I cook them in my rice slow cooker kitchen.
yes.
Oh.
I have a little surprise to show that too. I like those rice cookers. Yeah, if you cook it in a rice cooker, it cooks really fast. I would do the steel cut oats in a rice cooker too. The next we have is organic barley. This is kind of like wheat berries also. I got this at my local like health food store. It was on sale. So I'm like, yes, let's try it. And it's like a grainy, they're like little berries. It reminds you of the wheat berries too. So you would cook it like rice for a while. Yeah.
Wow.
They're fun. And it kind of makes oatmeal a little bit different. It's different texture. Then we have, okay. This one is really fun. This is whole grain amaranth. It just sounds pretty. But guess what you can do with these? You can pop these in a skillet. So like popped corn.
What?
You
Are
have
they little
popped
beads?
They're tiny
amaranth.
little baby
Are they
bees.
Yes,
little baby
it makes like teeny tiny little baby popcorns.
Have you ever tried it?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my gosh.
Like
Wow.
they were crunchy like popcorn, but they were just so wiggle. And then I just sprinkled them on top of my like parfaits. It was really fun. So you just heat a skillet, no oil. Just make it real hot. You add them in there and just kind of toss them around till they get all poppy.
So, do you get 4 ounces of that cooked?
No, 1 ounce cooked. Because if you pop this, it's like a puffed wheat or a puffed grain.
Oh.
So no, you would, because you're not adding water to it. That's what they're counting in with those 4 ounces.
Okay.
But yeah, they're really fun.
Oh,
You can
fun.
also bake with this, just like oatmeal.
What does it taste like? Does it have a taste?
Nothing. Like
Oh.
kind of popcorn tastes like nothing.
Okay.
Kind of just tastes like nothing, but it's just
Kind of like oatmeal.
little tiny baby
Ooh,
Do you
crunchies.
think oatmeal tastes like anything?
No.
No.
Deb says amaranth is one of the oldest grains back to the biblical times.
Ooh.
That's cool.
That is so cool.
Oh, Deb said you could mix the grains.
Ooh.
Yeah, so a little bit of puff wheat, a little bit of
Oh.
this. That's fun too. Like if you have a little rice maker, you could just all the grains and just
Wow.
then call it like a 1,000 grain oatmeal. I don't know. Then we have another thing that I got at my health food store is organic rye grits. So grits, they kind of taste like grits. It reminds me of a steel cut oat, but a little bit softer. I've baked with this without cooking them first. It does work. They're like a harder texture, but they're kind of fun. It just mixes it up. And it's rye. The next one, now this one is kind of cool. This one can be both a grain, or a protein. This is quinoa. I got it in bulk off of Amazon, and then I put it in this container. And then it was just the red quinoa.
It's dark. Oh, it's red. Okay.
Yeah, you can get different colors. I just got red because that was the one that had the best deal for the price. Yeah, so it's the same. 4 ounces would be a full protein of quinoa, or 4 ounces as a full grain. Ooh. And you cook this just like oatmeal. It's very good. I like it instead of oatmeal sometimes.
Even like easy over eggs over it.
Yeah, like a savory oatmeal, savory breakfast. Yes. And then the last one, and then I have a little other thing, is chia seeds. So chia seeds are a nut. I buy them in bulk, but you can use them as both a protein or a grain. So if you're wanting like, oh, I want extra protein today, you can make a chia pudding and then still have your protein on top. Or you can make this as your protein. So 1 ounce raw would be your full grain, or 2 ounces raw would be your full protein, because it's the same as seeds and nuts. So you could really have a lot of chia pudding if you want it as both. But I don't recommend that. It's very fibrous.
Yeah.
But yeah, chia seeds are quite fun.
Wow.
That's so
Sometimes if I'm like, oh, I don't feel like doing a whole thing of oats, I'll do oats and chia seeds and like an overnight oats, and that'll be my grain. I'll put that like together.
And then that gets thick because that.
This expands with water. I like chia seeds. I don't think these girls like chia seeds. Do you like chia seeds? No, it's a texture thing.
Yeah.
If you bake with them, I bake with them a lot because they soak up the moisture in your bakes. So it makes the fruit, it makes them a little bit harder.
Oh.
So they're not so moist.
Loretta is in the UK.
Yeah,
Hey, Loretta.
hey.
She says there's so much in the US we can't get in the UK.
Oh.
But also the US adds so much other things into the foods, but the equivalent food brand in UK does not allow. Yeah.
Oh.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
We need to be mindful of ultra-processed foods. Amen.
That
Yes.
is so true.
Oh,
So
my
true.
goodness.
So,
This one lady, Cynthia, she said grape nuts. She remembers grape
Yes.
nuts.
now is that
you'll give in
cereal? Grape nuts?
Grape nuts is a cereal.
I don't think that's compliant.
Oh,
There
okay.
is one cereal that's compliant, but I want to say they took it off. It was the,
Oh, really?
was it Fiber One? Deb would know this.
Oh,
It was one cereal. There is an Ezekiel cereal. We can't find it around us. I couldn't even find it on Amazon.
Oh.
There's one Ezekiel cereal that's
Okay.
compliant. It's the one without all the extra added. There's no fruit or cinnamon or sugar in it. And was there a special case? Somebody had put on one time all the cereals.
Okay.
Plain shredded wheat. Oh, I forgot that one. I have that somewhere.
That's a good one.
Just plain shredded wheat. That's compliant too. That's fun to crush on top of parfaits and stuff. So what I do is I have all these different grains, and like rice. I forgot there's rice also. I bought this little cute, isn't it adorable?
so
Little
cute, it's
rice
pink.
maker.
That is really sweet.
And you could do all the like different grains in here, and it's little, and it's ceramic lined, so it's not the non-stick with the PFAS, which toxins stay in your body forever. And it has white rice, brown rice, quinoa, steel cut oat setting, and then you can do your own settings on it. I just got it right off of Amazon, and it's pink. You can't go wrong with pink.
So cute.
Yeah, it came with a little they call it like a rice spoon and a little cup thing. So I cook all my stuff in here. I've done it when I'm batch cooking for Timmy, and I was on a quinoa kick for a while. So I threw all this quinoa in here and had it ready and cooked while I was making his stuff. Then I just put the cooked quinoa in, 4 ounces as a full grain, and then I'd make his bakes, and I put in the oven. So this
Nice.
cooks pretty fast.
Wow.
But you can do it conventional, just right on the stove. Watch it, stir it, whatever you gotta do. Google directions.
Deb said
Wow.
grape nuts is not compliant.
Right. I didn't think it was. And I think it was the Fiber One
Fiber
cereal.
One. And she
Yes.
said she still eats Fiber One in her yogurt bowl. And she said she has not grown a tail yet.
Oh, good.
Wow.
Oh, I also forgot. Maybe that'll have to be another one. My favorite puffed cereals.
Yeah, I was wondering about
I forgot
that.
all about
We'll
those.
have to
I
do
just went
those.
oats
Yes.
today. Oats and grains and
That's
stuff you gotta
okay.
cook.
Yes, and it's a
That
awesome
was good.
variety.
Yeah,
But
that was good.
I've went on a parfait kick for about a year. I was having
Wow.
parfaits like every breakfast. And then I would mix it up, but mainly
You've got
parfaits.
good recipes for parfaits.
They're so
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
They're like my
They
favorite.
are. So what was who made the parfait? Was it a parfait? They had the surprise in the bottom.
I get inspired by seeing other people's things. So on Instagram, it doesn't trigger me. So I'm like, go at it. Show me all the food. Because
you're thinking of alternatives.
Yes.
It's not like we can't have pizza. We can't have ice cream. We make it our way, and then we can have it. So we have different crusts or nice cream.
Exactly. That's how chickpea blondies came about. And that's really how my cookbooks came about. Because I'm like, I could make that without sugar and flour.
That set me free.
So it was this a berry cheesecake parfait. So I'm like, I can make that. So I'll tell you the recipe. On the bottom was I did 2 ounces banana, nutmeg, like a pinch of nutmeg, pinch of salt, always pinch of salt. I did peanut butter powder, but I did peanut butter for them. I think it was ½ ounce of peanut butter, and then 1 ounce of oats. And then I put a little bit of just brewed coffee for my peanut butter powder. You mash that all up, put it in the bottom of a cup, kind of spread it out a little bit. Then you just put 6 ounces of yogurt on top, just plain. Then I took blueberries, and I ran out of blueberries, so I did some cherries too, which was a happy mistake. I microwaved those, thawed them. Then I poured those on top of it, so it was like crust, like yogurt, and then berries on top. And then I refrigerated that overnight, and then the next morning, you got to get the spoon all the way in.
Yeah, and so I did not know. So when I first saw it, I thought, okay, this looks like a nice cream. Okay, and a nice cream in a cup. Okay. So I started eating it, and then it was a little while before, and I got down.
Yay!
Yeah, I thought, okay, well, it's fruit, it's yogurt, peanut butter. So I get down to the bottom, and I go to my, I literally stopped and went, oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
Because it was just a little bit of sweet, and then the nutmeg just gave it a little bit of spoof of flavor, and then you always add salt. When in doubt, always add salt.
It was so
I think I added a little bit of vanilla extract too.
Deb says, how about favorite frozen finds next week?
Yeah. Okay.
And then I could show you my, so I used to like, what was it? Caribou mango iced tea and unsweetened, of course. And I was spending lots of money on it, but I found an even better alternative. I like
So
better
good.
now. So that's like my treat. I should show that too.
Yeah.
Anyway, so our secret recipe was inspired by Natalie, of course, by her banana nut tops. I'll have to show that too.
I think that's in my volume 2.
It used to be, it still is one of my favorites, but I changed it a little bit. So,
Which I love. I love when people do
we'll
that.
put the recipe on there, but basically we put peanut butter on top, and then we put some sliced bananas, and we freeze the whole baked topping and bananas. And when we take it out of the freezer, it literally tastes like peanut butter brownies and with ice cream. That's what it tastes like, alternative, but compliant. And it is so good. It's like a little treat. And then you found even that you put roasted almond slices on top, and it gives it a crunch. Oh,
Yeah, I just happened to find, or somebody else, or did you grab them, Natalie? They were the sliced almonds, and they were roasted. Oh, that has changed it
When
all.
you roast a nut, it brings out all the flavors. Okay, I'll let you in on this other one too. I'm putting it in my brand new volume 17 cookbook that I'm like just on the edge of finishing.
Oh, you
my
should
gosh.
wait.
No, I have to
You
let
have
you
to
in.
do it.
No, because y'all are joining the live stream. I'm gonna
hey,
let you
exclusive.
in. Exclusive. They were maple balsamic roasted walnuts.
Oh
my!
yes,
Y'all remember
we had
those on
those.
the wraps?
They were good. They were good.
They were
They
so good.
were so good.
So I
getting
just
quite
took a bag of just raw walnuts. I don't think, did we turn the light on in here?
No,
No.
that's okay.
Okay. So I took a bag of just raw walnuts. Then I have my little toaster oven. So you could do this in the oven. And I legit did
fine.
like a toast setting because you can make toast in it. So I'm like, sure, I don't care. Toast setting. So it was like 400 for like maybe 6 minutes or less. Watch out because they can burn easily. So they were the walnut little nubs. Then I took little nubs. Then I took maple extract, just poured that on top. Then I took balsamic vinegar, poured that
Now
on top.
that's unusual.
Right. But what balsamic does when you cook it is it turns into heaven. Then I took a little bit of salt, always salt, and I mixed that all up, spread that onto the pan, put it in the toaster oven, stirred it once. Oh, they were like toasted. I had that on everything for the next couple days because I didn't measure how much I made because I knew I was making dinner for the family, but I made extra
For 2 days.
and I was so happy. Oh, they were so good. They were
They
like
were
crisp.
so good. And they
just the
stayed
slight-
good.
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
Did you keep them in the fridge?
No. I kept them in a Tupperware and I hid them.
Oh gosh.
So
then
good.
another little secret. I started my first chapter of the 3rd Rescued from Food Addiction devotional.
Yay!
Yes. When we got done last Sunday, Mom said, "Are you writing your next one? Because we probably need a next one." And I thought, really? Okay.
Yes.
And so I sat down and I started like putting some stuff together, and boom, chapter 1 was done. The cover is done.
Wow.
Then you know you're inspired. So
Then
yeah,
you know.
exciting times.
I love it.
So then we won't be back next Sunday because it's Easter.
Easter.
But the following Sunday, we will be back.
And we're supposed to get another snowstorm.
Woo!
We'll show you our snowstorm favorite.
Hey, it's really easy to bury the Easter eggs in the snow.
You know what? Don't color them.
Oh, God.
Minnesota people don't color their eggs.
No.
We just leave them white.
Well, Easter's so early this year. It's
It does.
usually in April.
and winter's so late this year. Usually
Yeah,
it's in winter.
winter's late.
Yes.
So Deb is saying favorite frozen finds, favorite teas.
Yes.
Yes.
We got you guys
Yes.
covered.
Deb said, Happy Easter all, Holy Week. Let's be on point each day and surrender daily.
Surrender. This is from
Wow.
Christy McCammon.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. Wow.
Awesome.
And we can be thankful knowing what we're coming into, who we
Yeah.
have with us.
Yes.
We can be thankful for... We think we're missing out. I never ate so much variety and so much
Right?
delicious food
Yes.
before. I was stuck on mac and cheese and
Yeah.
like saltine crackers
Pizza.
and cheese.
And ice cream.
Yeah.
Too. And like
Nice food,
TV
yeah.
dinners, which tasted horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we get to
You've
eat.
got that spice thing down. So you're going to have to
Yes.
do like 3 times the spices for
Always.
3 because
I
you've
have
got
more
those
spices.
spices down. It is amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
And so Kelly was saying this also. Another weird thing is since we don't do snacking, which means there's no taste testing of things as you're cooking it. So you really have to use your imagination.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking to myself, okay, I know what flavor I want in this, but what can I put in there and how much? And once you kind of get the hang of it, then it's easy to do because you're like, oh, this, like the parfait thing. I was like, okay, we're working with berries here. I don't want cinnamon because that's the wrong flavor I want, but nutmeg is a little bit of that sweet and just light and airy. And I'm like, yeah, let's add some of that in there. And then like savory things, I'm thinking, okay, do we want it like Greek or Mediterranean? Do we want it Oriental? Because then you're going to add some ginger and stuff in there. You got to think that way. And then once you get your imagination going, and once
That's
you kind of know
amazing.
what all these flavors taste like, then you can
That's
put them
so
together.
cool.
Fun.
That is so cool.
Fun.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. It was so much fun again. Yes, Donna. I love eating this way. Yes.
Barbara says, yes, surrender daily.
Yes.
He has risen and gives us power to overcome.
Woohoo.
And enjoy
Yes.
it all the way.
Yes. Yes.
Jesus came. Easter is
Woo.
Jesus came, rose from the dead so that we could be free.
So that we could rise together with him.
Yes. And then help as many other people to get free as well.
Yeah.
And when you show them, it says, oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. That's just like, I heard this and I'll never forget it. That when you're eating something, you're like, And then the other person's like, what is that? What is that? And you're like, oh, this is so good. And then finally they go, I can't help it. Give me a taste of that. That's how we should be with the goodness of God. Be
Yeah.
like, he's so good that people are like, give me a taste of that.
So good.
We could do that with this way of eating too. Be like,
Yeah.
it's so good.
yeah.
You're missing out instead of us thinking we're missing out. We're
Yes,
not. They are.
absolutely. Yes.
Wow.
We're living our best
Wow,
lives.
So fun. Well, we love you guys.
Yes.
We will see you in 2 weeks.
Yes, 2 weeks.
2.
Bye.